Hello and welcome to my first ARC video. I figured that I would start off by making a video to talk about some of the tames that are useful to you early game, mid game, and some of them very good even late game. These are all ones that I would highly recommend, and I realize that there are videos out there, but a lot of the tames that they mention are very sort of end game. Like, you need to have a lot of prep done, but the ones I want to show you are ones that are very key and yet possibly like the most underrated, yet easily some of the best tames that you can get. So first up, everyone who's seen my streams will be familiar with my Argentavis. It has to come first in this list simply because it's so useful for so many different reasons. First and foremost, statistically wise, it's got a lot of health, it's got a good amount of stamina, meaning it won't need a rest very often. It's got tons of weight, which is very useful as well when it comes down to carrying resources, and more of that in a moment. And what is brilliant about this is obviously with such a high stamina you can travel long distances without needing a rest. Now, they aren't the fastest of air mounts, they're possibly one of the slowest air mounts actually, but ultimately it's what they're capable of that's more important. Now, in terms of their abilities, of course they've got like a basic attack, but then they've got two attacks that pick up other dinos. So this one, for example, will pick up, in this instance, a dodo, and killing it and eating it has unlocked a buff in the top right corner, rapid regeneration. So what that means is it's basically healing itself, having eaten or defeated a creature and eaten it a little bit. So that is a super useful buff for it to have in a tight spot. But of course, as I just demonstrated, its ability to pick up other dinos makes it super useful to get, because essentially you could pick up a dino, take it to a pen that you've made, like a taming pen, and then you drop that dino into the pen or tame, whatever, it doesn't have to be a dino necessarily, and then boom, you can tame it at your own leisure at that point. It's really good for the fact that it can pick up quite a lot of dinos. Probably the largest you're looking at is like a Raptor or Parasaur. They probably can't do some of the larger ones like, well, an Ankylosaurus they can pick up as well, but they can't pick up things like a Trike or a Stego, for example. But anything kind of medium to small, they can pick up. And it's worth noting that all mining produce, so stones, metal, crystal, obsidian, just name off that off the top of my head, all of that is halved. So to give you an example, here you go, here's some stone. On me it weighs 50, on the Argentavis it weighs 25, so it'll be the same for all these mining goods in here. So yeah, so it's it can be used for the crystal, the stone, and obsidian. They've got a lot of stone in there, and yeah, so that right there is the Argentavis, and it is useful for not only obtaining the following tames, but just in general for being able to pick up and drop whatever you need whenever you need it. Next up is the Doedicurus. Its main use is the fact that it can swing its club tail at stone and collect vast amounts of it. So this is really good for stone gathering. You can see on the left hand side the amount that it's collecting as well. It has a secondary ability to give a bit of a speed boost. This does also damage things that you bump into. But yeah, it's a really effective way to get around, gather stone, and already the amount of stone I have. Now, it reduces the weight by quite an amount. Looks like it might halve it again, and then halve it again. I don't know. It seems to, so it'll be able to carry like vast amounts of stone. You can see there that swing, 2 swings, 500 stone. So yeah, super useful. You need stone all the way into late game, because whether you're making cementing paste or spark powder to make gunpowder later on, maybe you're building more stone structures for more simple tasks, or yeah, there's always need for stone. the cement and paste is needed for polymer. Like, yeah, there'll always be need for stone. So whenever you're in a tight spot, you want to have yourself a Doedicurus for sure. Now, combat-wise, they're not the best. If they're by themselves, they're against a sort of mediocrely decent predator, then they probably won't do too well. They can obviously use their club as a weapon, and it's effective. And this is quite a high level Doedicurus, so it probably could withstand most things. And it's got like a good amount of health as well. But I wouldn't risk it, to be fair. I wouldn't risk it. So, if possible, don't leave by itself in a matter of having to deal with a predator. It can probably hold its own once it's like this higher level. But yeah, the Doedicurus must highly recommend. Super useful for stone gathering. Next up, we have the Costoroides. At least I think I'm saying that right. Essentially, a beaver. And yes, these guys are pretty awesome. They are quite difficult to tame in that they have very high torpidity. So it takes a lot to knock them out. However, you can pick them up with an Argentavis. So you could always pick one up, drop one in a taming pen, and then boom, you just go ahead, knock them out at your own pace at that point. Now, in terms of their uses, they are very good at berry collecting. You can see here on the left-hand side, they don't collect fiber, but it doesn't mean it purely collects berries. So that that's a good thing. But their primary use, in my opinion, and what we technically use it for more than anything, is its ability to collect wood. Now, you can see on the left-hand side, up to 500. There's another 600 there, 700, 800. So yeah, we've easily got 700 to 800 wood in just like a few hits on a few trees. Straight away, we've already got that. So very, very useful for wood collecting. It can probably hold its own for a little while in a fight, but very similar to the Doedicurus is I wouldn't leave it in a fight if I didn't have to. But yeah, great sort of utility tame, very worth getting. You can easily find them around, obviously their beaver dams, so long as you scout around and find those. And of course, just like the Doedicurus, the Argentavis can carry them, so everything works very nicely, and you can easily move things back and forth. The Argentavis's weight carry amount means that it's not too stressful on you. And yeah. Next up, we have the Raptor. Now, this is a very good kind of starting off scouting mount and otherwise meat hunting predator that you can tame. They aren't too difficult to knock out. They can be picked up by Argentavis, so again, you can drop it inside a taming pen and tame it there. Really good idea to get yourselves one of these. Preferably, once you've got yourself a male, like we have here, get yourself a female as well. I'll explain more on that in a moment. Now, the highest level male will be able to have a special ability, like that. And it gives a boost to the pack. You see the top right there, pack mate. So it gives like a damage boost to them. And once you start reproducing these raptors, you will quickly build yourself a powerful army of very strong raptors. This guy has really good stats. He's been well bred, I believe, as well. What is he, like 8th generation on one line, 5th generation on another? So yeah, so he's very well bred, and you can see he's got a lot of food for some reason, but things such as his melee damage is at 1000%, his health is at 4000, which, to put that into perspective, I think like what the Rex is probably at, like, let's take a look at the Rex just quickly as a point of reference. This Rex is at 5300 health. So this is only 1000 like less health than a Rex, and it's tiny in comparison. So imagine a pack of these. you could easily build yourself a sizable force. The incubation of raptor eggs is very easy. They only need temperate conditions. So obviously if you're playing like Scorched Earth and it's hard to get temperate, you might need an air conditioner perhaps, but otherwise you'd be pretty much easy to raise them in other scenarios like this. This one has a movement speed boost because he's obviously been bred, and at one point there was a boost in their speed, in their generations, in their genes. So that's always the really good thing about breeding, is the mutations you get over time. So yeah, this guy is super fast, leader of pack with a damage boost, and deals quite hefty sums of damage. Let's pick on this little moss chops here just to see. Oh, hello. See how much it does. 254 damage a hit, which is comparatively more than what some Rexes hit that I've seen. In fact, quite a lot more than what Rexes. Certainly a lot more than any wild Rex could probably hit you. So yes, Raptors, highly recommend. This one is a particular tough one, but hey, once you get breeding them, it won't take you long to get there. They don't necessarily always have this color to them. There was a Valentine's raptor somewhere in their genealogy, so some of the remaining skin genetics have passed down the line. So my ones look a little bit odd and out there compared to the wild raptors, but that's why I've got these particular looks. But hey, I think they look pretty cool. And yeah, really good scouting mount. Obviously once you get the speed as well behind you, there's nothing that can keep up with you, and they hit hard. So ultimately, why wouldn't you? So last but not least, we have the Ankylosaur, or Ankylosaurus. These are kind of ideal beginning to mid game, and they kind of gradually lose their relevance somewhere in the late game stages, I feel. It's particularly when you start getting things like mining lasers, or if you're on the relevant maps to get the Magmasaur, for example. But if you don't end up getting those, then this could be late game, technically. The Ankylosaurus is a metal gatherer primary. I would say that the Ankylosaurus' sort of primary use and function is its ability to get metal. Very good at getting it, although that was not very much metal in that particular rock. Only 45 metal in that one. There's another metal rock around here. Let's have a look at this one. That's a lot better. 139 metal in that one. So yeah, they're very good at collecting metal. Oh, there's another metal rock there. Their turning circle is not good, and they're certainly not very fast. So trying to get away is not so much their forte from any particular fights or difficult situations that you might come across, which is his arc. There you go, another 120 odd metal. They can hold their own in a fight, I would say, although it's, again, probably not preferable. You could get one of these instead of a Doedicurus. They are able to collect stone. They just don't collect as much because they get more flint than they do stone. So basically this is more of your pickaxe animal, if you like, as opposed to your Doedicurus, which is more like a hatchet, because if you use a hatchet on a rock you'd get more stone than you do flint. So yeah, it's decent at collecting stone and flint, but its primary function is to collect metal, and it's very good at doing so. Similar to the Argentavis, it reduces the weight of mining materials. It does okay at collecting thatch apparently as well, but otherwise, yeah, it's good for those purposes there. You could probably take a few of those into a fight. They're probably a bit tanky, so they can probably hold their own for a little while. But I would be concerned against going some of the tougher opponents out there. They may suffer against more than one Rex or a group of allos, so you probably don't want to leave it in those situations. But dealing with the odd Carnotaur, I dare say it could probably dispatch quite well. And this is pretty much one of the larger mounts that a Argentavis is able to carry. So just like the Doedicurus and just like the Costoroides, the beaver, the Argentavis can carry all 3 of these. And so this is again looping back around to why the Argentavis is so good, but also yeah, these are very good mounts to have. So again, highly recommend this one as well. So those are my recommended tames. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite tames are, particularly beginning ones, because this video is designed to help out people who are starting off. So let me know your beginning tames as to what you would recommend. There's loads out there. I didn't mention things like the Iguanodon, infinite stamina, really good, high speeds it can reach as well. So things like that, there's all sorts that you could recommend. So yeah, let me know in the comments below which ones you'd recommend and why. And yeah, I'll look forward to reading them and learning myself. I'll include links in the description below to each of the ARC wikis for the dinos I've recommended, and there'll also be a link to my Twitch channel. I stream several times a week, so you'll be able to catch me on there. Sometimes I'll be playing ARC, sometimes other games. I am a variety streamer on there, so yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and go follow the Twitch channel if you want to see more. Thank you very much, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. And I will be probably doing more of these in the near future, hopefully, along with perhaps some Minecraft videos as well. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone. Bye!